to start with, I just wanted to start very general about you. What does the world need to know about you?
I currently live in Oakland, California, but am originally from Mobile, Alabama. I was there until I was 18, moved out to California for school, and I'm self-led in a lot of my life and my career. So I don't have this linear career. I bounced around I worked as a professional actor for a number of years. And then I was in coaching and development. I went into healthcare. Then I went into tech. Now I'm doing my own coaching and consulting. I think part of the confidence building for me has been around learning how to let that be okay. Like, yeah, I'm not a linear person, and I like many different things, and I spend time learning how to bring all of those things together. And sometimes it works out really well for me, and sometimes it doesn't. And I have to make amends with that. And then I go on about my day.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And in terms of like diving into some of the confidence questions, obviously you started to allude to it yourself, but if you just had to define confidence, what would you say it means to you?
When I think about confidence, I think about it really in terms of being a skill that you either unlearn or you learn. But I don't think you can't really have confidence if there's no competence and courage associated with it, right? Because it's something that you're having to do, which means you're going to have to put yourself out there in some way, and people are going to respond to it. And then also you're going to be good at it or you're not going to be good at it. And so those three things really go hand in hand for me when I think about confidence.
In terms of like, would you now at this moment in time describe yourself as a confident person?
In this very moment in time, I would say I am. And part of it for me, I'm realizing is I recognize what I know, and I recognize the things that I'm good at, but I also recognize some of the things that I don't know and what I'm not good at. And I feel a lot more comfortable now saying, oh yeah, that's not my wheelhouse. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And I think that's the other side of confidence, is knowing like, oh yeah, I'm one of 7 billion plus people in the world who all have these gifts and specialties and pieces of the puzzle. And for me to pretend like I have all of their knowledge and wisdom and skill set, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's really arrogant.
So would you say that there were, particular light bulb moments along the way that you learned about yourself that were just, oh, wow, like now that I've put this puzzle together, like all of this one thing makes complete sense now?
Prior to coming out, and I mean, it's been a journey over the past 16 years, but prior to coming out, I didn't really like myself, partly because I wasn't being myself.
Yeah.
And over the years, and more so like probably in the last 3 to 4 years, I've been in this intentional like Donnie restoration phase and reclamation phase. I'm like, I'm a cool freaking human being. I really like me. I enjoy myself and enjoy my company, and am enjoying the gifts that I have and the value and contribution that I bring to the people in my life. And they reflect that back to me, right? Either through words or actions. And it feels really nice to enjoy all that this is, right? And it's funny because at one point I had this moment of like, is that arrogance? Like, does that feel arrogant? And I finally came to the realization of like, no, I think there's this message that if we like ourselves and enjoy ourselves and acknowledge and honor and share what we're good at and speak positively about what we're good at, then it means we're arrogant. And it's not. It's no, I like who I am as a person and I'm good at what I do. That doesn't mean I'm good at everything. Or that doesn't mean I can solve your problem or the world's problems, but I can solve the problems that I know how to solve.
How would you, I mean, you kind of touched on it. Maybe that's an opportunity to almost sort of encapsulate it, although I know that that's really hard. But like, what do you feel like, what difference does confidence make to your life? Like compare low confidence Donnie and high confidence Donnie? What's the difference?
The difference is, like, I know I have my own back. If
Yeah.
something happens, granted, do I want it to happen? No. But if something does happen, like, I'll figure it out and I'll make it work and I'll be able to take care of myself and I'll be able to either emotionally guide myself or reach out to the resources that I need to help support me in the process. So
Yeah.
I know that I'll be okay. I also know that I can explore and do new things. Entrepreneurship has been really interesting for me. And for me, I treat it like a spiritual practice and a personal development practice because it constantly shows me where I'm good at things and where I'm not good at things
Yeah.
or competent at things. And so um building my business has really allowed me to build my confidence capacity around business building and leadership and communication. And so those things feel really good to me. Whereas before, I would have been a lot more hesitant to dive into the pool of trying something new
Mhm.
because I always had this mindset of like, once I say yes to wanting to do something, I need to be the best at it right away. And
Yeah.
then if I'm not good at it, what are other people going to think about me? And, is it going to get me fired? And all, and that goes back to the imposter syndrome.
Yeah, no, definitely. And what would you recommend to others who are struggling with their confidence right now or who are particularly low in confidence?
This is where the dissociation piece can be really helpful, but it's
Mhm.
also really hard, especially
Yeah.
for, people who are 12 to 23 or 24, because it's so connected to social media and what are your friends doing in group chats, right? So it's hard to like pull yourself out of those environments or to say, I'm not going to look at this thing for a little while because there's this fear of, oh my God, what am I going to miss out on? And are people going to talk about me during this thing? And oh, so and so, they left the group chat, or we haven't heard from you. And
Yeah.
then you get teased for it. So it's this kind of perpetual loop. But there has to be some way to pull yourself away from the thinking or the environment because it's only going to keep you in the loop. So that's one. I think the other piece is spending a little time identifying, what does a more ideal situation look like in terms
Yeah.
of the friends that you're around, the kind of support system that you have. Um, Maybe if you're new in your career or early in your career, you're thinking about, well, where do I want to go? Part of it would be thinking about, you know, what does enjoyment look like for you on the professional side? And what does enjoyment look like for you outside of the work context? So that you're building your life and your career around the lifestyle that you want to have and the life you want to have versus just the position that you want to have. Because I guarantee you, if you just focus on the position, you're going to get there. And you're like, the rest of my life is a hot mess. My
Mhm.
relationships are falling apart. My kids don't want to talk to me. Like, I have no time to go and do the things that I really want to do because I've taken on this responsibility. And so you feel like a prisoner in this, what seemed like beautiful life, but really it might have a lot of money and it might have a lot of status, but there isn't a lot of connection or fulfillment or enjoyment.
Did you find you sort of realize what these situations were for you that kind of brought you maybe the comfort that you needed to balance out some of the turmoil that was going on?
Yeah. For me, so there are a couple of things. One, I love being by a body of water. So sometimes I'll go for a walk out by the lake. Sometimes I'll go out to the beach and just
Yeah.
listen to the waves or sit there in my car and watch them. There is a regional park like 10, 15 minutes away from me, and they have these beautiful redwoods. So I'll
Um,
walk and like go stand in the redwoods. Sometimes I'll touch the redwood. Like, I now, as I think about coming from Alabama, I feel very much like one of those California tree huggers that we used to talk about when I was in Alabama.
Definitely. No, and I love that because I think we oftentimes either think we're too busy or we'll just brave it. But I think symbolically, there's something really, really important going on to really, like to really give the emotional challenges its space and its recognition, and just let it be. Yeah, I love chatting confidence or anything with you. No, thank you so
I feel
much.
like we could have a bunch of conversations. I would love to.